rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight, please give us the wisdom to represent the people that we've been elected to. Help us, Father God, just to make all the right decisions. In Jesus' name, amen.
I'd like to call this city council meeting to order. If we have a roll call.
Foster.
Here.
Hench. Here. Colby. Peters.
Here.
Newkirk.
Here.
Wiseman. Foster.
Here. Mr. Falks is absent. Always love when he's absent to take his seat. To entertain a motion to excuse Mr. Falks. Mr. Newkirk, second. Mr. Bopp, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We will move on to recognitions. Mayor Evans.
Yes, sir. We have a few recognitions tonight I'm very proud to be part of. And I'd like to start with Miss Lisa Atwood. Miss Lisa, if you would come up to the mic there. Lisa, we're recognizing her for 25 years of employment with the City of Jackson. She was hired back in 2001 into the garbage department where she worked in the recycling program. And probably everyone here, at least I can certainly remember her, that was back when she pulled a cart through town and they sorted all the recycling by hand.
Yes.
But anyway, then Lisa worked on the garbage truck and then finally, and in the utility office. And then more recently, since 2021, she was the janitor for the city where she worked until retiring very recently, a couple weeks ago. She's officially retired now. So I just wanted to bring her in here and thank her for her years of service to the city, and congratulations, Lisa, on your retirement.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You got to give a little speech here now, and then we're going to get a picture.
A speech. Oh, a speech.
Yeah, can't get out of here without that.
Well, I've enjoyed every bit of working for the city, the people that live in the city, and for you guys, the administration. You guys have been great. Every administration that I've worked under has been awesome. 25 years has flown by. I had the opportunity to work with the probation department, which was a highlight of part of my life, to be able to work with a lot of individuals that have gotten themselves in a little bit of trouble. And so I was able to mentor to them, and they mentored to me too. So that's been a highlight of employment with the city. But representing everyone that lives in the city has been awesome. So I hope I worked hard and made everyone proud. So thank you.
All right, we'll certificate here. Come up. And this way, Pete.
In the paper.
Good smile. Keep going.
Now you gotta walk this way and shake your hand. Tell everybody goodbye again.
No, not goodbye. Come back and see me.
Oh, I will. Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks. Oh, I bet. I will.
Congrats. Enjoy.
Thank you. Enjoy your retirement. Thank you. Thank you. You'll get a one of these days.
Melissa says thank you, Jim.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And next, I'll ask Police Chief Hinch to come forward. He has a little presentation also.
I'm here to recognize Sergeant King. Sergeant King is going to be awarded tonight with Jackson Police Department Life Saving Award, an event that happened on December 24th of 2025. Tried to do this a little bit earlier, but we've had some meeting schedule issues, and so it's a little bit delayed from the event, but What I'd like to do is have Sergeant Witt, who typically at our department, what we do is, if there's an incident that warrants potential look at on this award for life-saving award, we order an investigation, just like we do on so many other things. We like to have it investigated, the facts, the circumstances, and to make sure that the award fits so that it's meaningful when it is awarded. So I charged Sergeant Witt, who's here tonight, with investigating this incident after it came across my desk. I thought it warranted it as well. But I'm going to have him, if he doesn't mind, read his letter of recommendation to me. It will explain the circumstances of it.
So as the chief mentioned, I did an investigation into an incident that occurred on December 24th, and I'm just going to read my letter of recommendation that I wrote to the chief. I'm writing this to formally nominate Sergeant Thomas King, Jr. for the Jackson Police Department Life Saving Award. This award is presented to officers who are directly responsible for saving a human life or whose actions significantly prolong the life of another person who later succumbed to their injuries. On December 24th, 2025, Sergeant King of the Jackson Police Department self-dispatched to a call for service at Aluchem, located at 14782 Beaver Pike, Jackson, Ohio, 45640, regarding a male reportedly trapped inside an industrial bin. While monitoring local radio traffic, Sergeant King heard Jackson County Dispatch notify a deputy of the incident. Recognizing that Aluchem is located within the city of Jackson, Sergeant King immediately responded with emergency lights and sirens. Upon arrival, Sergeant King left his emergency lights activated to draw attention from any employees on site who could assist or direct him to the location of the trapped individual. This action proved effective as employees Daniel Ruff and Frank Reinhardt noticed the patrol vehicle and came outside. Sergeant King advised them of the reported emergency. At that time, neither employee was aware that a coworker was trapped. Sergeant King, along with Mr. Ruff and Mr. Reinhardt, immediately entered the facility and climbed multiple flights of stairs and ladders to reach the bin where they believed the trapped employee was located. The male was eventually located and safely removed from the bin. I later spoke with the individual, identified as Anthony Elkins. Mr. Elkins stated that he had accidentally tripped and fallen approximately 12 feet into the bin while attempting to correct an issue with an auger. He explained that after falling, he landed on soft, sand-like material and began sinking. Mr. Elkins estimated that he had been trapped for approximately 20 minutes. During that time, he attempted to contact supervisors, co-workers, and the office using his cell phone but was unsuccessful. In a panic, he called 911, and approximately 5 minutes later, he was rescued. Mr. Elkins further explained that the bin contained an auger at the bottom that continuously pulled material downward. He also stated that a nearby second bin was nearly full and would have overflowed into the bin he was trapped in once filled. Mr. Elkins expressed his belief that had Sergeant King and the assisting employees not located him when they did, he could have been pulled into the auger and or buried by the overflowing material. Mr. Elkins indicated that he had no idea when another employee might have checked on him and believes that it could have been hours, potentially resulting in a fatal outcome. Based on the totality of the circumstances, I firmly believe that Sergeant King's quick response, situational awareness, and decisive actions prevented what could have been a tragic outcome, resulting in serious injury or death. His actions clearly meet the criteria for the Jackson Police Department Life Saving Award and reflect great credit upon himself and the Jackson Police Department. It should also be noted that dusty conditions inside the facility and numerous flights of stairs aggravated Sergeant King's asthma. However, he continued his efforts without hesitation until Mr. Elkins was safely rescued.
Sergeant King, why don't you come on up? We'll present you with this award signed by the mayor, service director, and myself, and a pin that goes with it. Congratulations.
I don't have much to say. First, the glory of this goes to God. Without Him, I wouldn't do this job. I'm just glad I could help and get there in time. We have a lot of good guys that work for this department that, given the same set of circumstances and being put in the same position, would have done the same thing. So, thank you.
And also would like to recognize a couple firefighters tonight, and I'll ask Chief Kyle Hickey to come forward for that.
If you guys would, both Brennan and Collier come up. These are the two that were responsible for us. On the night of January 30th, 2026, the Jackson Fire Department responded to a reported structure fire in Liberty Township. Upon arrival, crews were advised that the grandson of a homeowner was trapped in the second floor of a burning house. Without hesitation, firefighters Robinson and Green entered the building to conduct a search for a missing individual. The firefighters continued their search under rapidly deteriorating conditions. As conditions intensified, Robinson and Green were forced to exit the structure. During their escape, both firefighters were overcome by fire and sustained first and second degree burns to their necks, backs, and ears. Their actions exemplify courage, dedication, and unwavering commitment to the safety of others. Without brave firefighters such as Robinson and Green, our community would face far greater risk in times of emergency. The City of Jackson extends its deepest gratitude to these two gentlemen for their service, sacrifice, and dedication to protecting our community and its residents.
And as the mayor, I'm honored to present these certificates of recognition to Collier Robinson. Step forward here. Congratulations, Collier. Thank you. There, right there. We'll get them both in there. And Brennan Green. Brennan, come forward. Congratulations. Thank you. Get in there too. Let's get a copy of this picture too.
They look this way and look happy about it. One. Thank you. Congratulations.
Would either of you guys like to address council? A little speech here? Sure. And shake their hands too.
Handshakes. I'm not
Thank you.
a speech here.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for your service.
I could. We're very fortunate here in Jackson to have police and fire like we do. That concludes our recognitions for the night.
We have Mr. Stevens that's listed on the agenda.
We do listed as visitors to speak. I'd like to bring Jim Thomas. He's been here before. Jim, if you would come up to the mic. He represents BDT, the architect that we had hired to redesign the new city hall. And with him, I would also like to bring up our state representative, Jason Stevens, who's in here tonight. And I bring them up together because without both of them being here, it wouldn't be happening. I've told you guys this before, but I wanted to bring it here again. This project of us building a new city hall would not be happening without Jason Stevens' help. He came into the mayor's office, met with Tracy and I. A couple of his assistants was in there when we applied for the grant that we got that's going to help us build a new city hall. Through Jason's work in his office, we were able to get $2.5 million which is what, it's not going to cover the whole project, it's going to cover a big part of it. Enough of it that we wouldn't be doing it without that grant. And so I wanted to bring Jason here again to thank him and recognize him for his help with that. And of course, Tracy's back there too, we got to thank her. And then Jim is here tonight to make, I don't know, maybe the first reveal. He is working on the design of the building and is here to present like the first look at it as they are moving along through the design process. So first, I'm going to ask Representative Stevens if anything you'd like to say.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I want to recognize, they left, the heroes, everybody that got out of here. I wanted to thank the firefighters and the police officer for their heroic actions. That's pretty incredible, these young men who are out there protecting your city, so I think it's great. To talk about this, I'm excited about, I wanted to see the picture. The mayor said that the big reveal of the rendering was coming out, but you know, as we came by and visited, and one of the first things the mayor told me after I was appointed state rep a few years ago was, we got to do something about this building. And we came and we looked at it, then we had a thorough review of it, and so it was really excited to be able to help the city of Jackson try to get this taken care of. At the time when we got the grant, we didn't know if it was going to be a new building or fix the old, but it was obviously better to fix it brand new, and just really excited to be able to put the city together and to be able to have the administration. And I think it will show a lot of pride in the city of Jackson, and will be there for hopefully a long, long time. And it's really something that I think is important. And, you know, here in Southern Ohio, it's very important that, you know, our local governments are really the center of our communities in a lot of ways. And when you have a facility that people can be proud of, that people can come into and have a good meeting in a comfortable setting, it enables people who come in from the outside to be able to say, yeah, that community is got stuff going and they're moving forward, but also the residents can look at it as a sense of pride and say, yeah, we live in a great place. So really excited about it and anxious to hear more details. So thank you very much.
Thank you again, Mr. Stevens. And Jim, our architect, for the project.
Thanks for having me back again. Tracy's handing out some packages that it basically has the same photo that's up here, a colored elevation, and then some floor plans and drawing elevations, just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at with the building right now. So as you can see in the rendering, the center section is the reused stone from the center section of the old memorial building. We were successful in salvaging that stone. So basically the sections that we're reusing are from column to column. So all the stone between the columns will be existing stone, except for the base. For the base stone, it was very weathered, and it was basically a plain stone, so we're replacing that. So I'll go through the floor plan a little bit. So we wanted the first level to be at grade for accessibility. But the mayor did ask that we get a little bit of the look of the stepped access to the main entry. So you can see now that the stairs are wide, but they're a lot shorter now. There's going to be about 3 to 4 steps. The grade allowed us to get a little bit of elevation and still maintain accessible access off to the north, which there'll be some visitor parking, accessible parking. And then all the employee access doors are along the sides and back are all accessible. So at the main public entry, which was, there's only one entry for the public, you go into the vestibule. From the vestibule, you can go left into the new council chambers, which is also a multi-use space. We're hoping to make it modular so that the city can use it for other high volume functions where they need to get a lot of people in a room for training, for some other kind of assemblies. Also, you'll notice in the back of the council area, there's restrooms. Those are restrooms for the first floor, but they are set up so that we can secure those at night. And so there'll be restrooms available to the public after hours when the chamber is being used. So in the lobby, going to the right, enters the City Hall, city offices, where there'll be a main desk there to welcome guests. And at that point, they can do several of the functions that they do now in separate buildings. At that point, they can access the mayor's office, the auditor's office, code enforcement, or utilities. Off of that lobby, there's also a small conference area, so that you could have a small private meeting without going back into the employee areas. Back of the house, there is elevator access to the second floor and a common break room for the offices. Moving up to the second level, when you get off the elevator, you'll walk out into an open space, which you'll then be able to access a large conference room, the mayor's office, or the auditor's suite. That level also has restrooms, a small break room. As of right now, the building area is around 5,000 square feet. It's grown slightly since we first took a look at it. We found later that we were going to need a second stair, and recently with doing structural designs, we needed a little bit more space. So at that point, I'll just open it up if anybody has any questions about the building. Or
So I might add, Jim, that our team, Mr. Schrockhammer and myself and Tracy, and at other times some of our other managers, we meet weekly with Jim Thomas. And he's been working on this layout and plan for quite some time for the new City Hall. He's met with various departments, including ours, the auditor's office, the utility office, to receive input from them and assess their needs from an architect point of view. So this is an updated rendering and a preliminary layout. This is open for comment from council, from the city itself, and as well as the public, open for comment as Jim continues to develop the plans. And yeah, if anybody on council has questions while the architect's here, that'll be a great time.
Which offices are for sure going to be in this new building?
You want to answer that? You want me to?
which offices?
Yeah, which offices?
So first level is utilities office, which is also going to be the face of the city when they come in. So the utility, that front entrance will also be the city office. So there'll be a person there that can help people to direct them to what department they need to talk to if they have questions. Also on that floor will be the code enforcement. So he'll have an office there, and then there's space there that if he needs to communicate with people, there's a private space for a counter that he can work with them on that. And then obviously the council chambers space is there. The second floor is the mayor's office, which there's also, we worked into the mayor's office, we worked some additional offices to provide for any expansion that may be required. And then there's the auditor's office for suite.
Okay. Thank you.
And there's storage rooms and stuff upstairs too, on both levels actually, that they're lacking now. There's And the rooms aren't necessarily identified specifically for use yet. That could still change. But he has been trying to meet the needs of each area.
So are we losing the drive-through for the utility office?
No, there'll be a drive-through on what I'll call the south side. I don't think that alley has a name. The alley
It
that
doesn't.
comes by the church. So there'll be a drive lane there with a remote customer unit. So that'll have I don't know if you've seen it at some banks where you actually don't see the teller. You'll drive up, there'll be a customer unit with a screen and a tube basically to convey materials.
And then there'll be a night drop too.
Yes, so it'll be a night drop, it'll be on the north side. They'll have direct access to the utilities offices, but it's also plenty of places to park, get out, and make a night drop. It's well lit, so it'll be a safe area to do those.
So you'd be down where, like on this drawing, it would be down in the 8th, would be the alley. So that would be where the...
Correct.
So the utility office and services, that is on the other side?
Yes. There's a pneumatic tube that connects them and two-way
Camera.
communications.
It's a portal.
Anyone else have any questions?
If you can possibly tell us, what would be the timetable when you got started, how long this project might take? I know that's a $1 million question, but I just thought I'd ask anyway.
So, we've been working on preliminary plans for quite some time and anxious to get started, and now we're finally cut loose. So, we're well into getting into the details right now. My goal at this point is to have this project out to bid probably around the end of April. And better if we can do that, but basically getting it into construction early part of summer. My best guess, if we get started in June, we're probably looking April of the next year. Part of that may be there's some things that are weather sensitive and we can't get that done before the winter. We've got a month or so there to wrap those items up. But the goal would be to get it under roof before the weather, just like it is now, so we can be working inside.
Well, if there's no other questions, I thank Jim BDT for coming out again tonight and bringing us these. Thank you, Jason Stevens, for your help with securing funding, coming out to visit with us tonight also. This is big for Jackson. I know this the old memorial building it's been a question mark and a what do we do with this for a long time here in Jackson, and we're finally making something happen with it, something that's going to be good for the city of Jackson. And we're excited about it. Excited about getting moving forward. Coming out again tonight.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We do have one other signed visitor to speak, Greg Snyder, if you'd like to step up to the microphone.
I just need to speak, we can have a discussion about the cemetery, if not, I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Thank you. We'll be moving on to approval of the minutes. Anybody have any corrections, additions to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes. Mr. Bach, second by Ms. Hinch. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll move on to committee reports, utility, Mr. Newkirk.
No report.
Budget and Finance, Ms. Colby.
No report.
Police, Fire, and Traffic, Mr. Foster.
I have no report.
And Services, me. I do have a report for Dora. We have to file some paperwork with the state, and we'll be getting that taken care of in the next few days. I'll be working with Mr. Fulks for the legislative side of that to get that sent so we can get that implemented with the weather change. That's all I have to report. We'll move on to the auditor's report.
I have no report.
Mr. Kirby,
I don't have any report, thank you.
Chief Hinch, Chief Hickey, Mayor Evans.
Yes. I actually want to recognize some more people that I forgot about earlier. I had here in my notes and forgot to mention it then. They're not here. I didn't invite them in, but I wanted to mention this to council as well as publicly. You know, the weather's not been great lately, and beginning a couple weeks ago, we had a very good snow and ice storm, and I just want to compliment our crews, our city crews. What a great job they done clearing the streets. And I just want to list this name of the people here. That weekend, starting on Saturday when the snow started hitting, our street and alley crews worked round the clock until Monday morning, basically, getting our streets, snow removed and the streets cleared so, they're safe. And I've also, since then, this is like 2 weeks ago now, but since then, we had another snowstorm, and they also did an awesome job on it. And I've heard from so many people that were driving around. Some of them are political types that, visit other towns, and they all say the same thing, that, Jackson streets were better than, the Chillicothe's and Portsmouth's, the towns that they were in. And so I just want to share that with council. And even still now, we're still trying to clean up that mess. But of course, it was all organized by one of our operations managers, Ron Aldridge, and his foreman, Tim Hill. And I think every single person in that department worked that weekend. Tyler Storms, Sean Rasp, Noah Stewart, Jim McCarty, Stephen Moore, Collier Robinson, Tyler Trish. I think that's everyone in that department had a shift that weekend, because they worked an 8-hour shift and then they'd turn it over, and they just kept running. I think at one time we had maybe five or six vehicles out plowing snow, trying to clear up the streets. But our other departments, they volunteer to help when they need them. From distribution and collection, not part of their regular work, but they volunteer to take a shift on cleaning up. Austin Aldridge, Peyton Hill, Dylan Ramey, I know those three at least, I saw them out. And then our mechanics, who are normally mechanics, also volunteer to take a shift and help out. Chuck Hopper, Levi Rosenberger. I also know from other departments later that week we're working cleaning snow. I know people in our electric, our linemen and our tree trimmers were out helping clean up snow. And when that happens, obviously there's not a whole lot else you can do anyway, but it's all hands on deck to clean up snow when it happens in this town, and they do an outstanding job, and we hear about it, about how well it is. We hear that from the school system, we hear that from people who travel to other towns. And I just wanted to give them a shout out. Everyone involved. We do a good job here in Jackson. We do a good job with our police department. We do a good job with our fire department. We do a good job with our work crews too. And just wanted to throw that out there. I do have a couple updates on a couple of our projects. Even though the weather out's not suitable for most of this, we're still working on it behind the scenes. Our Hammertown Horse Trails, the grant we got for that. We met with and selected an engineering firm by the name of Howerton Engineering. They're out of Portsmouth. We like the fact that they were local and had some relative experience. They will begin as soon as the weather allows. They will be out at Hammertown doing a feasibility study and assessment of those horse trails out there, because we have a grant to make considerable improvements out there. It's part of a $310,000 grant we were awarded in conjunction with the Ohio Horsemen's Council to make those improvements. So as soon as the weather allows, they'll be out there starting that study of that area and make suggestions and do engineering for how to best make improvements out there. Also, downtown, our water line and downtown revitalization project. They took off a couple weeks as the weather and snow and ice was so bad, but they started back today, working up on Main Street. So they will be continuing on that. And they, you know, they're going to work very hard to maintain sidewalk access to all the businesses and maintain traffic and parking as much as they can to try to support the businesses downtown. So that's a little bit what's going on. Just wanted to, and that's all I have for tonight's update. Thanks.
Is there any questions for the mayor? I have one more shout out. You forgot the garbage crew. The garbage crew had
I did. I apologize.
I watched them. It took a little bit extra time. Stuff was covered, buried. They had to wade through knee-high snow. The little sidearm thing doesn't work when there's that much snow. But those guys, I mean, to only be basically a day behind, that was pretty impressive.
You're absolutely right. And there was trash cans setting up on a foot of snow and ice that they had to.
Some were under a foot.
Yeah, right. And it was I don't know, I had somebody refer to it as a town that looked like a war zone, you know, but yeah, you're right, absolutely right. They were out there, we were collecting the trash and cleaning up stuff just in very undesirable conditions. And they all did a great job too.
Thank you. Move on to Mr. Swackhammer.
We're talking garbage. Monday is a holiday, so that will move Monday's garbage pickup to Tuesday of next week. Also, it's supposed to get warm tomorrow, so they say, and then there's also a chance of rain later this week. If anyone has a storm drain in front of their house that they haven't gotten coverage yet, the city, please let us know. Because if all this snow starts melting real fast, it's gonna, have no place else to run or puddle, but right there. So we want to get those all opened back up. So if you know where there's a storm drain that isn't uncovered, please give me a call in the morning. Reach out to Mr. Aldridge so that we can get those addressed.
Any questions for the service director? Thank you. We'll move on to ordinances and resolutions.
An ordinance amending the City of Jackson zoning regulations to include regulation of mobile businesses and adding the rules as a supplemental regulation to be included as Chapter 1123 of the City Planning and Zoning Code and declaring an emergency.
Discussion? Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman. Bach.
Yes.
That concludes third reading and adopted of ordinance resolution, ordinance 7125. Move on to ordinance 7625.
An ordinance repealing and amending the City of Jackson codified ordinance sections 941.22 and declaring an emergency.
Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch. Yes. Colby.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Concludes the third reading of ordinance 7625. It's duly adopted. Move on to ordinance 826.
An ordinance amending and repealing Resolution 21-21 and Resolution 03-23 to establish the maximum wages and manner of wage increases for executive assistants, IT employees, department heads, operation managers, and other positions therein.
That's the first reading of this. My agenda doesn't have a mark, so I'm
I thought this was 8, 9, and 10 or something.
confused. Second reading.
Yeah.
You're right. Discussion for ordinance 826. Hearing none, I will conclude the second reading of ordinance 826. We'll move on to second reading of ordinance 926.
An ordinance to repeal and amend ordinance 59-23 regarding the annual salary for the positions of chief of police.
Discussion? There's no discussion. That concludes the second reading of ordinance 926. We'll move on to the second reading of ordinance 1026.
An ordinance creating the positions of manager and establishing the maximum salary and declaring an emergency.
Discussion. Mr. Evans?
I want to offer a little more clarity on this. Council asked a couple questions about last time. And I'll just take a minute to back up a little bit, because not all of you were here, but 6 years ago when Mr. Schweikhammer and I came here, the city had 8 managers. They were called superintendents, and they managed the operations of the city, basically. Most of them were long-time seasoned employees of the city, had a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, did a really good job, and it was a really good system, although it was pretty expensive. Over the last 6 years, one by one, those people have retired or moved on, and with them we've lost a lot of that experience and knowledge, and so right now, current day, we only have 3 managers. Instead of 8, we only have 3, and that's because as one by one as those retired, and we just didn't replace them. And we didn't replace them for a couple of reasons. Number one, we were trying to save money. We wasn't sure what our revenues were going to be related to the income tax and stuff. And frankly, I didn't think we needed 8. You know, I like to run lean and mean, so to speak. I like to be efficient, and we thought we could manage. Even though we're doing more, we could do it with less. And but I think there are areas where we need some more help. One of our current managers is full-time at the utility office, Karen Young. She does a great job, been in the city a long time. That leaves 2 managers, which is Greg Farr and Ron Aldridge, to run everything else, basically, and with the service director and myself. So really we have 2 people filling what used to be 7 other positions, and I think it's time that we look at maybe getting them some more help. I think there's things we can do better. The reason I'm creating this new kind of generic position of manager instead of just hiring more operations managers is because I consider this more an entry level. This is a lower paying job. As you see the pay scale there, it's below what our current operations managers make. This position is somebody who might become an operations manager in time. There was a question about how many. I think a maximum of 2 is what I see there. I think that would give us, that would still be only replacing 2 of those 5 vacant positions, you might say. And that would result in a huge savings to the city over the previous arrangement. By not replacing these positions as they come open, you know, we've saved the city a tremendous amount of money, and that's helped us. That's helped us keep utility prices low. You know, we haven't raised them in the last 6 years. But there comes a time we need to strike a balance between having good management and providing good management of both our processes and our personnel. And I think I'd like to make some improvement there, and that's the reason for creating these. I don't necessarily just want to hire someone that has a long time experience with the city and knowledge and would be considered a, step right in as an operations manager, but I'd like to hire someone that can be that. I'd like to maybe bring in a little different skill set too than what we currently have. And I'd like to do at least one position pretty soon, because as I previously announced, Mr. Schweikhammer is going to be retiring. I'd like to get someone in to get some, pick his brain a little bit before he's out of here. And of course, it's okay too to announce and, publicly that I'm looking for the next service director. So, not that not this position, but I mean, this position as well as my current operations manager will be, considered in a pool for that, as well as anyone else who might be interested in being the service director here. So, if any council has any other questions regarding this, I'd be happy to answer them. But I know there were some questions at the last meeting, so I wanted to add some clarity there.
Yeah, I'll jump right back in. First and foremost, we need to revise the legislation because it does say positions of manager. If it's our intention to create 2 managers, then we need to revise it, which would then revert this back to second reading. So this is like an onion as you begin to peel this back, because I'll give you credit for fighting off a big fight to eliminate positions. You reduce the workforce. As we did that, we've encountered new sets of obstacles and issues. I'm not against the positions. I am against still not having a job description. Something as simple as bachelor's degree required, blah, 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 something of that nature. So first, I'm going to make a motion to amend or revise to 2 positions. So I move to have this ordinance create 2 positions of manager and establishing a maximum salary and declaring an emergency. So I'll move to do that. I need a second. Mr. Newkirk. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So, now that we've crossed that bridge, we can live with 2.
I do have a job description.
We really need those. So,
Well, I mean, we don't, when we've done this before, we didn't provide job descriptions to council, but I'd be happy to for this one.
like I said, it's like a blank. I'm not saying that I don't trust you, but you are an elected official as well, and you may get really mad tomorrow and quit, and then someone else comes and fills your seat.
Yeah.
We need to lay better groundwork than arbitrary things.
Yeah.
So I don't think you disagree with that, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So this rolls back to second reading on that. But I got a couple other things, and then I'll let someone else say their piece. This is an issue citywide as well, because there's knowledge gaps in these departments. So these people that have, raised up to these manager levels have a lot of experience in Jackson. So a lot of the process experiences that, someone who's off the street's not going to know. We spent a lot of money to map the GIS system because we were going with the premise that, Billy knew that water line ran through the middle of that street. Well, Billy's not going to be here forever. So we have to understand that we need gaps filled. So in this, even in Mr. Reed's office, if Mr. Reed decided tomorrow that he wanted to quit and walk away, we need a manager type position in all departments. And even below these operations managers, there needs to be somebody who's head of the staff in these departments too, for attrition. Think how long the learning curve was for you guys when you took office. If it weren't for certain people like Tom Woltz or Mr. Reed, that would have been a really steeper learning curve than it already was. So I think the council should really take a look at the auditor's office, even the utility office, and everyone's like, oh, well, you don't want to create more jobs, but we deserve to have some, a continuation of services at the level that we pay for those if someone were to leave. That's just my 2 cents. And I'll turn the discussion over to anybody else who has anything else to say. Mr. Reed.
I've got a question.
Will these be clocking or non-clocking positions?
These would be salary, this is a salary non-clocking position.
Okay,
Like
well,
our
I would
others.
like to address that as a report, as the auditor, from my opinion. And this is my opinion, there's different managements. I'm not saying the mayor has his, I have mine. So I'm not knocking that, I'm not knocking that we need more people. But I am willing to say this, and talking to the state, the strongest internal control is to have somebody clock in and out, so that there's some record of them being here. It's harder to cheat the system. It's transparency to the public. If somebody says, what did they work? Well, they came in, we're not paying them by the hour. We don't need to pay them by the hour. We're paying them for their job. But if they're on the clock, they show in the city as being on their clock. They have the ability to clock in by phone, by fob, by computer, none of which take any time. They can be what we call, they can have a variable schedule. They don't have to set in one day, they could work at night and be off the next day. So it gives a record of who is working. It's good for workers' comp if somebody would have a claim. In case of emergency in the city, you know who is working. Right now, unless somebody would check in, Mr. Swackhammer, I don't know how you'd know who was here or who wasn't. And I guess to the mayor, these positions are full-time?
Yes.
Are they supposed to work 40 hours?
Well, yeah, sure, at least. That's all of our salary positions are.
Okay, so cities around us, Marietta, all use clock or a timesheet. Athens, all clock or a timesheet. Waverly, all clock or a timesheet. Portsmouth, all clock or a timesheet. Wellston has 2 that don't. And those people, they're looking at the new system and talking to their auditor's office, not their administration. They're hoping they do. There are a couple around us that don't. They have a set schedule where people can be verified, and they have a direct supervisor that is checking over. And then the other thing that I just found out tonight, as far as positions, I'd sent a notice into Teamsters today, and I got it back at 5:12 tonight. And they say that no new positions can be added without, salary positions without going through them and be covered by insurance until the next negotiations. But I'm not against positions, but I think just as far as public perception, I think somebody should clock. We have the ability. So I don't see why it keeps us from being open to somebody saying, oh, they were in town, they weren't doing anything. If they're working, I got in a situation where a supervisor a couple years ago was clocking. And they had to clock. And I got in a situation where somebody reported them to me and said they weren't here. We were able to go and prove that they weren't here, so they were stealing time. In this scenario, if somebody would report something to me, I do not know how it would be verified. So just in transparency, and as far as for public perception, and as far as just for trust, I think it's much better to clock in. They're not using it, and I think our policy and procedures needs changed right now, because it says you acquire sick leave by hours worked. And I don't have the hours worked. That's what I don't like about this. So I am not against adding positions, but I am against adding positions, or having positions really, that don't have to clock. That's all I've got.
So, we're well aware of how Mr. Reed, we've had discussions about this before, and we've looked into it too, because there are laws about salaries and how you treat salary people differently. So I had asked Joe to give us a legal opinion regarding that, and I don't know if you've seen it yet or not.
I got it, that's what I said, I know it's legal to do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Joe-
it's not
Joe-
legal.
Joe
I'm
would
saying
give us-
it's not a good idea.
Yeah, Joe would give us a legal opinion on that. And Joe, you want to go ahead and give on that a little bit?
I think the same, the reason basically is you can do it or you can't do it. You're not required to clock.
Right.
There's good reasons to clock and good reasons to support not clocking. Kind of a decision the managers are going to make.
Right. And we had decided that our salary not to clock, because there are laws and requirements that if you treat someone like an hourly person, they become an hourly person. And a lot of our salary people, they don't get paid overtime. They don't get comp time. So, they're called out in the middle of the night or whatever, and they don't get regular time. They don't get overtime for that. So if we make them clock, it could be, not saying it would be, but it could be a situation where we'd have to pay them time and a half for any time outside their normal hours too. So that's one of the reasons we don't.
Time clocks can be used as evidence for, after somebody leaves employment too, if they feel that they're owed more money. You do have to track, as Mr. Reed said, you do have to track the sick time, but I understand that there's a procedure for doing that now.
But if there's somebody in the overtime, Joe, and they're clocking, that doesn't necessarily, if you're making X number of dollars in salary.
It doesn't automatically mean they get overtime. No.
Right, even if they work over hours, but it does show that they're on the clock.
Right.
So in these positions, Mr. Mayor, I've heard you say operations manager, superintendent, and manager. So in the job descriptions, are they going to be equal to the superintendents and/or foremen that are there now, or operations managers now, or are they, I guess that's not real, that's clear as mud.
Okay, well, we no longer have any superintendents.
Okay, you just referred to them, so that's why I just wanted to.
Yeah, they used to be called that. Back
Okay.
when we had 8 superintendents, which were essentially the same as our operations managers are now, although they were exclusive to their department. And that's why we had so many of them, because we had one basic in each of 8 departments. We're forced to, with only having 3 of them, we manage by team rather than by department. And each of our operations managers, as well as Mr. Swackhammer and I, we have to manage a little bit in all of those other departments, and not no one is designated just to a particular department. And that will continue with me too. I believe in the team concept rather than 8 little different businesses in town.
Well, just for the sake of establishing these positions, were they just going to be considered operations managers?
Well, they're just under operations manager level and above a foreman. Our foreman, the foremen that we have in the departments are actually working foremen. They actually do their job or work in the department. They actually just lead their crews or whatever. They're actually working foremen. And then from there, it just goes to our 2 operations managers or to the utility office manager. So these will serve actually in the job description. They work directly with the mayor and administration from many different areas and in all departments. Help us establish long-term goals, strategic planning, work closely with the other operations managers and any other city leaders really to oversee daily operations and services. Responsible for providing support through personnel management, procedure development, grant and project administration, budget analysis, asset management, process improvements. It's a little bit of everything, frankly. But to answer your question, right under the service director is our operations managers, and then right under that is our working foreman. So this is kind of in between there. I didn't want to just the operations managers. They were the former superintendent equivalent, and it's a pretty good cost to the city. So I want to bring a manager in at a lower pay scale, frankly. They may be an operations manager someday.
Just 2 quick questions. One to
I just like, if you're going to second reading, and if it is second reading tonight, that's great, because I think the mayor needs to look at this. Like I said, I did not get this till 5:15. got it back from them.
Mhm. Yeah, we'll
Because
get
I
that.
don't believe you can even offer insurance to these new positions.
We just revised it, so by definition, we're going to stay at second reading even for next meeting, but that was the question that I have. Are we in line with the labor agreement?
That's not really my deal. I just remember there being discussion on it before, so I
Well, we
sent
need
a
to
letter to
be, we
them.
need to be clear on that. The other thing is, we do need some sort of job description. You're asking us to put $160,000 a year in salary. So the transparent part is this council needs to see that, at
Yeah.
least to
We could make-
at least make a good vote.
I've seen it get it all of it.
And then, the other, portion of that was, the part with the clocking in and out. There is issue with that, because if you're accruing PTO on a 40-hour work week,
That they're given X amount. The only thing that is accrued for salaried workers, and that needs corrected, is sick time. The rest of it is fine, and they can, by saying salary employees get this amount of sick time, 4.6, just like everybody else, that takes care of it. That's not what our policy and procedure says currently. So that's not a problem.
right, but that needs to be revised.
Yeah, that's nothing to do.
I mean, it's been in place for how many years? Okay, if you want it revised, that's fine, but it's been in place for multiple years, and it's already well-known that our salaries are based on 26 pay periods at 80 hours. That's what our salaries are based on. Therefore, those 80 hours is what the accrual of sick time has always been against.
Okay, fair enough. I understand what you're saying, but what's the harm in aligning the policy with that? I don't think there's any harm.
I agree we should.
No harm. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong because it's that way. I'm saying that we should align the policy with the process.
Yeah, no harm.
Is there any other action to be taken on ordinance 1026? The second reading, it will revert to second reading for next meeting. We'll move on to ordinance 1126, first reading.
An ordinance of the legislative authority of the city of Jackson to enter into an agreement with the Board of Trustees of Lick Township, Jackson County, Ohio for fire protection and declaring an emergency.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 11-2026? Ms. Hinch? Mr. Newkirk, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discussion. Mr. Swackey.
Yeah. Cindy, did you get copies of this to everybody?
I sent them,
Okay.
I put them out.
This is kind of hot off the press. We've been working with Lick. We wanted to get it done earlier, but they were going through a situation to where their fire levy was back on the ballot, and they had some change in trustees. And so what you have that was just approved today and signed today is you should have a copy of their resolution that they are willing to accept our fire protection service agreement that we've proposed, and that should be the second thing. And then an MOU, and the MOU is in place because of the terminology of what their fire levy states. Is that correct, Joe?
So that, and it outlines the use of the purchased truck.
So if you will notice in our service agreement and with their resolution, a very large dollar figure for the first payment. And this is because their fire levy has allowed them to set that money aside that they need to use for fire protection. And the fire truck that they are wanting to help the city of Jackson purchase has $1,060,000 price tag with about a 3-year lead time. And if you will notice that their upfront money for here within the month of $680 plus their couple payments before the truck gets here, is going to basically front end this contract so that the truck can be purchased. They will still have fire service protection within the township. And so this is truly a win-win for everybody, and I really appreciate the Lick Township trustees identifying this and being willing to help us. Chief Hickey, do you have anything else? You were at the meeting tonight. I had to be here for the BOZA.
Yeah, over the years, Lick Township's levy brought in more than they provided the city of Jackson, so we worked with them. I met with the county auditor and both the prosecuting attorney was able to determine that they could not hold on to those funds. So they have offered to the city of Jackson to purchase a vehicle. And that's what we would use these funds for. Those funds have been set aside in a capital account. And Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, they have to be spent on a fire truck or something similar. It can't be for salary, stuff like that. So that's why
Correct.
you see this worded in such a manner.
Correct. And that's why in the memorandum of agreement, they keep a contingent ownership. The city's guaranteed to use it for 25 years. But they have a contingent ownership interest in that to justify the use of the levy money.
They are providing us much larger funds than any previous contract we had.
And I know this has got an emergency clause, and there's a resolution coming up with the purchase of the truck. Background is, we have been pushing the dealership, the manufacturer, for a couple months to hold prices. They've told us that if we don't pull the trigger on Monday,
Yeah, 215.
yeah, 2/15, there will be a 4% or basically $40,000 increase. And so I'm asking for council's consideration to help save those funds and so that we can, I don't want to say take advantage, but with Lick Township's support, take advantage of the current price versus we wait, we're going to end up paying $40,000 more.
Yeah, 4% doesn't sound that large until you realize the amount. It's sizable.
Just a quick question.
Yep.
The agreement ends on February 28, 2031. The last year of the agreement is $0.
Correct.
What are we looking at going forward?
If this wasn't in place, based upon the same charges that we had with Franklin Valley, based on runs and so forth, we'd been in the 125, 130 range on a year-over-year for 5 years.
So they have, this contract matches their levy. Their levy will expire at the same time frame. So if they are able to get it renewed, we'll go forward with a regular contract amount. And there is a sentence in there that says that those amounts are kind of fluctuating because, the large lump sum up front and then the, tails off at the end. And there is an understanding it will be renegotiated in the next contract.
Because my question is, their levy's going to continue to draw money for the year we...
1 year,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and so this, like this last year, they didn't get their levy on the ballot in time, so they went a full year. So this will leave them approximately enough to go for a year, but you never want to pull them down to totally zero.
Right, I understand that, but honestly, if something were to happen with their levy, I mean, our business carries on regardless in the city, so.
That's correct.
That's correct. We're basically exhausting all of their funds through year 3 and leaving them with some reserve, should they have to hit the ballot 2 or 3 times after that, so they're not without fire protection.
And just to be clear, we're 100% their fire protection. We provide 100% of it.
Plus any mutual aid we need, but we are the primary.
Okay,
That's correct.
okay.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I had. Does anyone else have any questions? It sounds like time's of the essence. I hate buying $1 million vehicle in one night, but there's no sense in paying extra if we can get it bid at a lower price. It covers the entire amount of the vehicle.
Brian,
And, yeah.
if I could just add, I'll give a little credit where it's due here. Chief Hickey, he become aware of the situation and has worked tirelessly with the county auditor and the new county prosecutor and Mr. Kirby, in fact, and I know they worked all weekend. So I would give a little comfort to council. Yeah, this is a complicated series of legislation here at very high dollar, but it's a huge win for the city of Jackson. And Joe Kirby has been involved in reviewing and writing all of this, so I want you to be aware of that. So hopefully it's on the up and up with Joe. Yeah, this is a huge windfall for the city of Jackson and the fire department.
Yeah, I agree, and I would like to give my dad some credit to that too, because in 2020, he was really noisy about the amount of the fire contract, so thanks to all the parties involved. It's helping your neighbor, but, when you're footing the bill for things, you gotta pay your fair share. That's just the way it all works.
Yeah.
So, if there's no other discussion, I'll move to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Mr. Bob? Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Is there any other discussion? Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Ordinance 11, 2026 is adopted. We will move on to ordinance 12, 2026, first reading.
An ordinance approving additional appropriations in the general fund, fire equipment fund for purchase of tanker truck and declaring an emergency.
Can I get a motion to adopt ordinance 12, 2026? Ms. Hinch, second by Ms. Colby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Discussion? Mr. Swackhammer?
Yes, you'll notice the dollar amount is exactly the same as what we were just talking about on the truck. This is front-loading out of the general fund, that dollar amount, until we get the monies from the township so that we can go ahead and make the purchase. There'll be a resolution coming up here so that we can avoid that 4% increase.
Couple of questions just for my notes. Who are we purchasing the vehicle from and what's it going to be?
It is coming from Johnson's, but it's a
Yeah, it's a Spartan chassis from Johnson's, and it is a pumper tanker, so it is a combination of two trucks we have now into one.
Will this take something out of service? Will this add? What's this?
It has the possibility to take two trucks out of service. It will absolutely take our reserve engine out of service, 1408. It'll be sold, and then as the tanker ages out, it's at 25 years now. We take it out of service. It doesn't hold a lot of value. It will fill in for both of those vehicles.
And just one more question. The lead time again was 36 months?
720 days.
Two years? Like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I went to Jackson High School. Somebody
Yeah, I gotta do the math, but it is. It's right at 2 years.
Okay.
720 days. They are trying to expedite that, but that's a big.
What's the estimated value of the vehicles that you're going to take out of service?
About 125 is what I've been told.
That's per or combined?
That's for 1408. With the price of new trucks rising, it's putting a chokehold, and the used market is following. So we are.
So it could increase in that time frame.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
value.
absolutely could. And then the tanker, 25 years old, 30,000.
Okay.
It won't have a ton of value.
All right, that's all my questions. Anyone else have any other questions? Do we want to take action on this? I'll move to suspend the rules. Second by Mr. Newkirk. Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch. Yes. Colby. Yes. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman.
Yes.
Bach.
Yes.
Further discussion? No discussion? Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch. Yes. Colby. Yes. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman. Bach.
Yes.
Ordinance 1226 is adopted. Move on to resolution 1, 2026, first reading.
A resolution authorizing the city to enter into an agreement to employ Joseph D. Kirby of the law firm of Cole Kirby and Associates, LLC, as attorneys for the city and declaring an emergency.
Do I have a motion to adopt Resolution 1, 2026? Ms. Finch, is there a second? Mr. Newkirk, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Mr. Evans, Mr. Swackhammer.
Yeah, actually, we have not updated an agreement with Kirby Cole and Associates for several years. And this one has a slight increase from 160 to 168. And so that's what we're presenting here, to stay with Cole Kirby and Associates as our legal counsel for the city.
Mr. Kirby's working on an IOU over here.
So my recollection was last time it was changed was
2020.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had it since we've been in office.
So it's been the same amount
I'm
since.
going to say 10 years.
You only asked for an $8 raise.
The only reason was just take a little bit off of inflation. But that was it. It just seemed to be coming, might as well change it.
I will say, as someone who asks a lot of questions, it does save a lot of money, because I always ask how much we pay these guys, and Mr. Reed always shows me how much we pay the 3 firms that we pay. So it's a bargain, because no one's going to take the position of the law director as an elected position, because they would be starving to death if they took the position. So.
I think the last time you had a law director, and Jack told me wrong, was somebody in 1974, and I don't know his name. It was not a name I've ever heard.
Can't recall.
Abraham Lincoln. Do we want to take any action on this time of the essence? He's working without a contract, or is he?
It's not.
No, it's continual.
Okay, so we'll just classify that as first reading of Resolution 1, 2026. We will move on to Resolution 2, 2026, first reading.
Resolution authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety or his designee to file an application to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources for a grant through the Clean Ohio Trails Fund and declaring an emergency.
Could I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2, 2026? Mr. Newkirk, second by Ms. Colby. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Swackhammer.
Yeah, this is just giving us the authorization to apply for the grant. The deadline to apply is March 16th. So it's nothing more than that at this time.
Is there any discussion or questions about the grant? Since the deadline is March 16th, I'll move to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Newkirk. Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch. Colby. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman. Bach.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch. Colby. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman. Bach.
Resolution 2, 2026 is adopted. Last part of business tonight is Resolution 3, 2026, first reading.
Resolution of the Legislative Authority of the City of Jackson, Ohio, directing the Director of Safety and Service to purchase a tanker fire truck from Spartan Fire LLC for an amount not to exceed $1,060 and declaring an emergency.
Could I get a motion to adopt Resolution 3, 2026? Ms. Hinch, is there a second? Mr. Newkirk? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Mr. Swackhammer.
Yeah, this is the third piece of legislation that we've talked about tonight. This is actually giving us the permission to go ahead and enter into contract with the purchase. As you've seen in the previous legislation, the funding is there, will be there by the time the truck gets here in 700 days. So I'm asking that you move forward tonight and let us get that placed this week to avoid the 4% increase.
So just one quick question. It's a state purchase, so the increase in addition to the state purchase, like, Could you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's actually not considered a state purchase, it's the, help me out, Kyle.
Sourcewell.
Sourcewell. That's more of a national.
So the state, just in case you had a question, the state purchase statute allows us to buy things that have been bid for the state, but the statute also allows us to bid or purchase things that are less what the state purchase is, and in this case it is. And it also, Sourcewell is the, if I recall correctly, the Michigan version of the state purchasing program. It is a program that says let out for competitive bid, so it meets all of the requirements of the state purchasing statute.
Okay. Is there any other questions, Mr. Reed?
We checked that, and Joe checked it too, with the state auditor recognizes it.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I saw it in there, just wanted to get that clarified.
Yeah, and we've, some of our last fire cruisers were purchased this way as well.
Yeah, the only reason.
Or not fire, police, excuse me.
We went to Sourcewell is they charge a flat fee that is substantially lower than state purchasing. They charge based off of a percentage. So it's about a $7,000 savings to the city to go back to Sourcewell.
Okay, just wanted to just clarify that. Is there any other discussion regarding Resolution 3, 2026? Any take action? I'll move to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Mr. Newkirk? Ms. Ripa, sorry.
Foster. Hinch.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman. Yes. Bach.
Yes.
Is there any other discussion regarding Resolution 3, 2026? Roll call.
Foster.
Yes.
Hinch.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk.
Yes.
Wiseman. Yes. Bach.
Yes.
Resolution 3, 2026 is adopted. That concludes all legislation for this evening. We'll move on to correspondence. Ms. Ripa?
Everyone should have something in their packets regarding the financial disclosure filing deadline that you have to do every year online. There's a web address on there for you. It's pretty simple to go online and do it, and I just need you to sign the back page showing that I have given you this information.
So that needs signed and given to you
Signed and
today.
returned to me, yeah.
So make sure that everybody signs that and turns it in. It's in the back of your packet.
That's all I have.
So that takes care of correspondence. We'll move on to old business. Is there any?
Cindy, you also had a correspondence for them.
I thought you wanted me to wait and talk to
Well, I
you
know,
about
but you
that.
may well give them a heads up because you did receive that
Oh, I
correspondence.
didn't leave that in my folder.
Okay, can I go ahead and
can
do
go
it
ahead,
then?
yeah.
So the Jackson Area Chamber of Commerce had reached out to Cindy and to myself, actually, regarding the public sidewalk markets, first Thursday, as we call them. We originally had a 3-year agreement in place that expired in December, so there will be legislation coming at the next meeting. So I've just given you guys a heads up, they are requesting the continuation of that, and we'll include a copy of this letter with that legislation.
So that concludes correspondence. So we'll do it. Mr. Bob?
I should have asked Mr. Kirby this earlier. 153 Portsmouth Street, I've seen some movement around there. Have people moved in there, or what's the status of that?
Not that I know of.
That's what you know of? I just wondered, because I've seen lights on there, I've seen lights inside the house on.
I know it's been watched, people, as far as I know. They may be preparing.
Is that all you have, Mr. Bob? Okay, we'll move on to old business. Is there anything under old business that anyone would like to discuss? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Request for services.
Yes, residents out on Pattonsville, they're wanting a 3/4 inch line tap at a cost of $1,500. That's our normal tap fee cost for a 3/4. We do have water available at this road there. There's no problem with providing that. I just need a vote from council as to whether or not we will provide this service.
Does anyone have any input?
Where did you say it was?
Pattonsville? 1485 Pattonsville Road.
It's a residence.
It is.
Need a motion to grant that if someone, Ms. Hinch, is there a second? Mr. Newkirk, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Granted. We move on to executive session, and I'll go ahead and announce the conference with an attorney regarding pending or imminent court action. I'll ask that everyone in the gallery be excused with the exception of the chief of police. And could I get a second? Newkirk? Oh, yeah, aye or?
No, we're a roll.
Roll call.
Foster.
Yeah.
Lynch. Yes. Colby. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk. Wiseman. Yes. Bob.
Yes. We are entering executive session. We do not have any business planned afterwards unless you want to stay and Turn the interwebs back on with that.
You've got yours.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I know, and I told Marla to cool down.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Same sign. Meeting adjourned.